right. So I just wanted to hop on here and tell you guys thanks so much for joining me tonight on Scotty's team call. I know it says Scotty Hobbs under my name. I'm using his Zoom link, so I'm not Scotty. If you don't know me, which I think everybody on here does, I'm Tate. But tonight I really wanted to talk about something that I'm really super passionate about. When Scotty reached out to me the other day and asked if I would speak on his call, I said, yeah, absolutely sure. And he just asked me to pick a topic that I was passionate about. So I decided to talk about taking ownership in your business and even go a step further kind of in your life. And I think it's something that has really been a huge part of the success that we've had as a team overall in the first few years, or going on 3 years now in this business. But before I jump into that, Scotty wanted me to remind you all of the Craig Holiday 90 Days of Excellence training videos. If you've never listened to those, highly recommend doing that. You may have seen Scotty talked about, he listened to it over 60 times in his first year as a coach. I've listened to it multiple times. It's like 8 training videos, and Scotty just uploaded those onto his YouTube channel. So you have access to those, and they are on YouTube as well. So anytime you guys want to hop on there and listen to those, highly recommend it. I listen to them a ton my first year as a coach, and I still do when I get out on the road. And maybe I've listened to some other podcasts, but I always kind of come back to those and remind myself, because they're such good training videos, and it kind of brings everything back to the very basics. So I think a lot of times we tend to complicate this business more than it needs to be, and it's just a great reminder of how to do this business, how to start coaches right. It's called 90 Days to Excellence, I believe, Brandy, and it's by Craig Holiday. So you can check those out. They are on YouTube, and they will give you so much good info. But other than that, I'm going to jump in and talk about a few things. This is going to be fairly short, but pretty direct. Again, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. And he also wanted me to sort of tie in some of the stuff that I do sort of full time for my job as well. So again, if you're on here and you don't know who I am, I'm Tate, and I've been a coach for going on 3 years now. I've been married for 6 years, which is crazy. And we just had a son that turned 1 just last week. So it's been just crazy last couple of years with COVID and that, and just all of the things. But in addition to that, I also work full time in the grocery business, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that and how it all kind of ties in to what I'm going to talk about tonight. But again, I want to talk about 5 things when it comes to taking ownership for your business. And I'm going to go through them. I'm going to list them all out for you and then kind of go through them one by one. And then at the end, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to say, I'll be here for that. But the first thing is we're going to talk about owning your habits. The second thing we're going to talk about owning your excuses. The third thing we're going to talk about is owning your growth. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is owning your support system. And the fifth thing is owning your personality. So these are the 5 things that I really think are going to be everything for you, not just in life, but in this business, or not just in this business, but in life as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about is owning your habits. And one of the things that I'm a huge John Maxwell fan, and one of the things that he says, the hardest person you'll ever have to lead is yourself. Anybody who's listened to him or read any of his books, or if you just tried to be in leadership at all, you know that you are your biggest challenge. And if you want to be able to lead other people, you have to be able to lead yourself. And that starts by owning your own personal habits. And when it comes to Beachbody and Beachbody coaching, a lot of times that just comes down to things like your nutrition, your workouts, your challenge groups, and truly asking yourself if you are leading from the front in those things. Like, I had a conversation with my wife earlier tonight, and we were talking about eating dinner, and there was like some fried chicken available or grilled chicken. And I picked the grilled chicken, and I was like, you know what? I really wanted the fried chicken, but I was like, honestly, when I eat it, it makes me feel like I'm cheating the people that I'm trying to coach. Like if I'm out there preaching like, hey, this is what you need to be doing, this is what you need to be eating, but I'm like secretly just like foundering. Like, yes, I did that with Garrison the other day at Clay's birthday, but I felt terrible after it, you know? And it's like one of those things where you start to like, if you're doing those things like in secret, you're not really leading from the front. And it's one of those things that it hurts your habits. And it's one of those things that makes it really hard to lead other people when you're not doing what you say that you're going to do as well. Exactly. Practice what you preach. So leading the way with your nutrition, leading the way in your workouts. Are you doing your workout program every single day? Are you following it exactly how it says that you should be following it? And are you showing up in your challenge group every day? Because if you're asking other people to do that, but you're not doing it yourself, again, it's one of those things where it's going to be really hard for you to lead other people. So I think that's going to be the first thing that you have to really focus on, is owning your habits when it comes to this business. I'll talk a little bit about some other habits in just a second, but that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to talk about. And the second thing I want to talk about is owning your excuses. So, and basically when I say that, I mean, don't have excuses. Like everybody, if you've been in this business long at all, you'll know the saying that everybody thinks they're just the busiest person on the face of the earth. Like we're all the busiest people we know, right? And I kind of wanted to just give you like a little bit of background of my personal story, so you can hear kind of the things that I do and that I go through on a daily basis. And it's not anything I'm not going to take a bunch of time talking about me and my story, but I just kind of want to be able to tie things in to taking ownership. And so you guys can know a little bit about my background too. So like I said, I work full-time in the grocery business. And this was a business that my dad started back in the early 80s. And for those of you that don't know me, my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease about 20 years ago. And so now he's at a place where he is, completely pretty much immobile, requires 24/7 care. He can kind of feed himself, but can't, like if I'm with him or anybody who's with him, you got to clothe him, bathe him, all the things, toilet, all the things. And so my dad has been an owner in that company still to this day. But about 10 years ago, he retired from this company. And the people who came into the positions of power, I guess you would say, to run the organization, basically ran it into the ground over the last 10 years. And this is a company that we're talking about that my dad created that is or was a $50+ million in sales company every single year. And we're talking about a guy who was in his 70s that created that kind of company, who had eventually had to be put in a nursing home, who was going to be homeless and broke in a ton of debt because of the way this company had been ran. And in saying all of that, it just like, it absolutely crushed me to know that like he had done all this work and this company was about to go under. So in February of 2020, I was put into the position of president of this company. And that's kind of how I got started in this business, to try to get it turned around, because I could see that things were not going good for my dad. And I just knew that I had to step in and try to take care of him. And at that time, my dad was actually living back home and had a caretaker who we thought was taking great care of him. Turns out it was kind of, honestly, just short of abuse, some of the things that were happening to him. And it actually came to the point where I asked him one day, like, what do you want to do here? And he flat out told me to my face that he would rather be dead than do what he was going through. And it was at that point that I had to basically get him away from that situation, bring him down close to my house, which is 2.5 hours away, took care of him for a couple of weeks, me and Peyton, by ourselves, until we were able to get him in the nursing facility, like right next to our house, so that we could make sure that we took care of all of him, all of the things, made sure he had proper care. So on a daily basis, guys, I'm taking care of my dad. I am a dad. I'm a husband. I'm president of a company with 250 employees. I'm trying to build this Beachbody business, and all of that happened within a year of me starting my Beachbody business. And I've really not shared that with even people on our team. Scotty's like one of the only people that I really talked to and opened up about a lot of this too, because it's always just, it's so much like, and when we stepped into this grocery thing, it was millions of dollars in debt. And I've spent the last couple of years in attorney's offices left and right. I was there for 2 hours today. I'm still trying to get it back where it needs to be. But I can honestly say that if I had never started Beachbody the year before, because it happened about 1 year into my business, I would not have been prepared to run the company. But because I started Beachbody and because it forced me to focus on personal growth and development and leadership skills, it helped me be prepared for what was coming. And we still have a long way to go. But with the current plan that we have, the company literally was on the verge of bankruptcy and the doors closing, and my dad being homeless, to April or May of 2022, we will pretty much be out of debt at the current rate we're going. So I wanted to share those things with you to show you, like, this is what I deal with on a daily basis. And so when people come to me with excuses, it's really hard for me to be like, I feel sorry for you. Because like, we can all sit around and feel sorry for ourselves, but I'm a true believer that everything happens for us and not to us, that we are meant to learn from these things. And I believe with all my heart that if I hadn't been put in these situations, that I wouldn't be prepared to do what I do today. And so honestly, guys, like, when it comes to people making excuses for time, and this is like, I have a hard time even like speaking this stuff out loud, because I just don't like sharing it. Honestly, I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me ever. And I don't feel sorry for myself. And that would be the worst thing I could possibly do. But it would be easy to just sit back and, tuck my tail and just say, you know what, I can't handle this Beachbody stuff. I've got way too much going on. But I know without a doubt that Beachbody can be the thing that completely changes the future of my family. I know that without a doubt, because I've seen it happen in so many other people's lives. And I know what it's done for me already in the first 3 years. And I know what it can do for you. And I've seen what it's done for Scotty and his family. And I've seen what it's done for so many other people. And I'm just determined to figure it out myself and to never quit. And I'm so fortunate to be part of this business and the things that it's taught me and the people that it's brought me around. And that has honestly nothing to even do with like the physical part of this business. Like the fitness part is unbelievable. You all know that. You're on here, like, the programs are amazing. The shakes, it all works. It's great. But like, at the end of the day, none of that even compares to like what the actual business can do for you and your life and your personal growth and all of those things. So when it comes to excuses, guys, I'm bringing it all back. Don't make them. Like, everybody on the planet has the exact same amount of time every single day. We all are dealing with different struggles, every single one of us. And don't feel sorry for yourself. That's the worst place you can get to. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we need a day of kind of gathering ourselves and taking a deep breath. But as long as we keep moving forward, keep working on personal growth, personal development, good things are going to happen, guys. Because I know from experience that if you continue to plant good seeds, you are going to reap a harvest of benefit on the other end. And that's how life works. That's the universal law in this life. If you will continue to put in good work on a consistent basis, you will reap the benefit. But you can only do that if you keep going. You can't get there if you quit. So I'm going to get off the excuses train and move on to owning your growth. Guys, personal development won't happen on its own. You've probably heard that phrase, the older I get, the wiser I become. I've heard a pastor say this before, but I thought it was funny, so I'm going to pass it on to you. But I know a lot of other people that are getting older and they're not getting any wiser. And I'm sure you guys can agree with that statement. You know, everybody's getting older, but not everybody's getting wiser. And you know those people. It takes intentionality to grow. You have to want to personally grow every single day, and you've got to stop being growth oriented and start being stop being goal oriented and start being growth oriented. You've got to start focusing on, how do I continue to get 1% better every single day? What books do I need to read? What podcasts do I need to listen to? Who do I need to surround myself with? And I'll talk about that in a minute. But your personal development is everything in this business. And if you're not doing it, it'll catch up to you quick, because nothing in life is easy. This business is not easy. No business is easy. And if it was that way, every single person would do it, and every single person would be a 6-figure, 7-figure earner. But it's not easy. And 95% of people don't have it up here to stick with it. And that's where you guys have the opportunity to separate yourself from everybody else. If you will stick with your personal development, constantly work on growing and becoming the person that you know that can succeed in this business and in life, you can do it. Anybody can do it, but it's just a matter of making that decision of whether or not you're going to continue to focus on getting better, and whether or not you've got the resiliency to stick with it when things get tough. And that, again, that goes for literally everything that you do in life, not just this business. But you need to come up with a personal development plan. Like, you need to know, these are the books that I want to read. These are the podcasts I want to listen to. You need to know, like, hey, these are my strength areas. These are my strong areas. These are my weak areas. What do I need to focus on? And you need to dive into those and never stop learning. The fourth thing that you guys need to do is you need to own your support system. That, to me, is another huge part of this, is who you surround yourself with. I heard a quote when I started this business that said, you become the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. And the older that I've got, the more I find that to be very, very true. And while I may not have the opportunity all the time to hang around 5 people out in the public, out in the real world that can push me to be my very best, I do have you guys. And I also have all the people that I hang around with every single morning when I pick up these books. When I pick up a book by John Maxwell, when I pick up a book by Bob Goff and Grant Cardone, I'm looking up at my bookshelf right now. When I hang out with these guys every single morning, their energy, Ed Milet, their energy rubs off onto me. Their thought processes rub off onto me. And you can become the average of those kind of people as well. And that's what can completely change your life, is when you start hanging around those kind of people every single day, the people who are really moving their life forward. And that's what's been the biggest shift for me in my life and in this business. And it's funny, I was actually talking to Garrison about this the other day. I can look at a picture of myself, and he said the same thing, from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I don't recognize that person. I don't know who that guy is, because my mindset has completely changed. And your goal should always be that the person that you looked at last year, you shouldn't recognize that person, because you should be an entire year better than you were then. And if you will continue, again, to make that shift, to make that mindset shift, to focus on that personal growth, surround yourself with people who push you to be better, it will be a game changer for you. And you may not see it in the first day that you do it, you may not see it in the first couple of months, but as I've gone through this business and I look back almost 3 years in now, like I'm nowhere near the same person that I was when I started this. And I couldn't have even come close to hopping on a call like this and speaking to you guys about it. I mean, wouldn't even been close. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who push you to be your very best. And if you don't have those people right next to you in life, find them through books, find them through podcasts. They're there, they're available for you. And that's why those people do that, is to add value to you. And the final thing that you guys need to do is you need to own your personality. I see so many people in this business that try to be somebody that they're not, that try to mimic other people way too much and try to do things that's not them. And I'm not saying that you don't need to get out of your comfort zone, because I think that you definitely need to get out of your comfort zone, but you've got to do it and be genuinely you. Like you've got to use your personality, because at the end of the day, you're going to attract the type of person that you are to this business. You're not going to attract, like, I'm not going to be the person that attracts some super like extroverted, like just loud, obnoxious person. Like that's not me. That's like that's not who I am, and that's not the person that I will attract to this business. And that's what you guys have to understand too. Like everybody has their specific group of people, and those are your people. They're not my people, they're your people. I can't recruit your people and you can't recruit my people, because we don't vibe. And that's what you guys have to know, is that when you're building this business, you're building sort of your tribe, your community of people. And that's what's so cool about it, is you get the opportunity to pick and choose who those people are. You can bring in anybody and everybody, but you don't have to. You can bring in the people that speak directly to you, that you want to work with. And that's when it gets fun. When you guys get to start working with people that have the same mindset, the same mentality, the same work ethic that you do, that's when this business gets a whole lot of fun. And I want every single one of you guys to have that, and to have those people. And I'm telling you, if you will do these things that I'm talking about, really truly taking ownership for your business and showing up each day, working on those habits, stop making excuses that you don't have time, that your full-time job is keeping you from doing this, that your kids are keeping you from doing this. For heaven's sake, don't blame it on your kids. That's the worst thing that I think I could ever see, because you should be doing this to help them achieve more in life. Own your personal growth and surround yourself with people that can help you be the best version of you. But if you guys can do those things and really truly take ownership for yourself and in your business and in your life, you're going to be able to do and achieve whatever it is that you set your mind to. And I truly have no doubt about that. And like I said, this is one of those topics that I love speaking on, because I am a little bit more of a straight shooter type of person. And when I work in this business, I'm in it to work the business, and I'm in it to help people get results. And some people, they just want to build a community of, I know Josh Coates kind of calls it like of cheerleaders or whatever. Like you've got people in the stands that are just watching, and you just kind of want to build your little community. And that's not me. I want to build people who want to get amazing results. I want to build with people who want to work hard. I want to build with people who want to get business results and fitness results and all of those things. And that's what we're going after, to build something special and that really truly helps and adds value to people. So that's really all I had for you guys. I wanted to keep it under 30 minutes because I know, like I said, it's after 9 on the East Coast. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. You can unmute yourself. I see J-Hop there. Sorry, I don't know your full name, or I would say.
So
it muted for some reason. Sorry, I can't hear you.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that one product has been in position and is still in position of helping save an entire grocery store legacy.
Do what now?
And that product is Shakeology, or
no, we don't sell Shakeology in our grocery company.
No, I understand that. I guess what I'm saying is, you're saying that your participation in this activity with Team Beachbody, being a coach,
I got you.
and serving within your community, doing the extra steps that you've started doing in the past 3 years, is saving an entire grocery store legacy.
You have that correct.
The one thing that your family had counted on for years, and maybe you grew up with that stability, and so now you're taking this one activity that we're doing together, and it's making all the difference. It's made all the difference. That's really powerful.
It definitely has. Like I mentioned, it's. I was never a reader growing up. I actually hated reading. There was nothing that I disliked more, but I didn't realize that I was reading the wrong materials. That I truly enjoy focusing on personal growth and personal development and learning about leadership skills and listening to podcasts from those type of people. And I did that to help me grow my Beachbody business, because I heard a quote early on that said, your team will never grow more than you are growing personally as a leader. And so if you're a 5 out of 10 as a leader, your team can never be any greater than a 5 out of 10. Your team can never be any greater than really as a 3 or a 4 out of 10. But if you'll continue to grow as your leadership skills grow, your team is going to come right along with you. And so that's why I made such a commitment to it. And when I got thrown into that grocery business, and it was really crazy, all of the different similarities that I could take from Beachbody and apply them into our grocery company. And it worked. And it's honestly been one of the most fulfilling things to see. So yeah, what you said.
And it's pretty safe to say that, now, have you ever, does anyone ever get treated lunch like, hey guys, I know everybody wants to take a 30-minute lunch or whatever, but here, I'm going to have somebody, we're going to be serving lunch right back here in the break room. So when you take your break, does that type of stuff happen at the grocery store? Do people get free lunch and then they end up saying, man, that was quick, easy, and delicious?
Yeah, that kind of stuff happens.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah. See, I can picture that type of stuff happening at, I feel like employers, vice presidents, people that own like companies, businesses, have people that they sign their paychecks and stuff. I see more and more of that type of activity. Yeah, we got to spread the word, man, because like nobody really wants to like go drive off and go get lunch, anyways.
I agree.
And then like half the time you come back late, and then you blame it on traffic. And it's like, if
there you go.
If we could just take care of business in the break room with, and then you even have that extra time for reading as well.
That's right. It's
hard to read and drive. 30 minutes. What do you guys give your people? 30 minutes or they get an hour?
They get more like 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing.
No problem. Any other questions that you guys have that I can help with? Or I like some of the comments I see. Kristen, you can see how it crosses over into her dance company. So cool. I was talking to I won't get too many more stories, but I was talking to one of our coaches the other day. And she's not on here tonight, but she was talking about how she just accepted a new job, and she basically said that she walked out of the interview knowing 100% that she had crushed it, and she gave just full credit to her personal development and growth that she had gotten from being a Beachbody coach. And those are the type of things and the type of stories that I think are so special, of what this business is doing outside of just fitness and health, and this particular business is how it's affecting and changing your family's life. And that's, again, it's why if it all, it's not going to happen, but if it all crashed tomorrow, I would be so very grateful for the people I've met and the things that I've learned. But thankfully we follow a leader in this business and the CEO who's got a humongous dream to end the trend of obesity across the world. And I'm going to keep following, because everything that guy sets out to do, he gets the job done, and he's done it since the days of P90X. So I'm going to keep listening to that guy.
Hey, Brandy, being a teacher, and this is just something I was thinking when my daughter, because my daughter was like, hey, I want to go be a part of the after school program. I'm always bringing the kids home, and I like to just keep them for myself. But I was thinking, maybe if I could, if I get a couple coaches or just some people that are just willing to come be a part, but after school programs, how likely would it be for 2 or 3 Beachbody coaches to help lead a whole brand new after school program? How many schools around the country, could use such a thing, to where they already have the screens, the projectors, and we just simply stream, and then we're just sharing. That makes sense, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be awesome. I'm not
Not
sure
only
about
would you get to share it, but they'd probably even pay you. How much money is given, for after school programs? And the schools are already getting the money.
I'm not sure about the legalities of all of that with FAQ and all that. I'm sure you have to kind of reach out to those people and see about how you can share programs and stuff like that with people who don't have memberships.
Be selling it. It'd be no different than, the after school programs. I hear ESP. You're right, honey. It's called ESP over here where we're at. That's what she said. But yeah, they'll show our kids Netflix and movies and stuff, and I didn't give permission for my kids to watch, I mean, not that it's about permission, but I'm just saying, when people put their kids in these programs, it's it is what it is. Yeah. And I bet you that it could totally work without even I mean, it's
for sure.
I think it could work without having to jump through too many hoops and stuff. It's just a matter of people saying, hey, I'll do it. A lot of us are part of the PTA anyway, and we know that, when you're part of the PTA, you can pull strings with your pinky ring.
All right, we'll take one more question. Anybody got anything else? Any comments, any questions? If not, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to hop on and listen. And thanks, Scotty. I know you'll play it back for having me on. And for those of you who do have Scotty as a coach, as always, remember to send him thank you notes every now and then. He gives a lot of time, effort, and energy to every single one of us. One of the wisest people I've ever been around, a great friend, and super thankful for him. So just remember him when you guys are out there working, that all the time and effort and energy he puts into it. And yeah, so you guys have an amazing night. And again, if I can help anybody in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. All right. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks, Tate. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Tate.
Thank you for your leadership.